since everything wrapped up at the moment?
So far it's been great. It's going by real fast. I was thinking about it the other night before I went to bed. It's crazy that we're almost through April already. But as of spring, practice 11 was done today. I think we've been getting after it as a team, as a defense, and then as a defensive line. The energy's been great. The play has been there. The physicality has been there. So it's been real fun just to be back out on the field. New group of guys, a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces coming back. So just learning how we're going to play together this year and gel both sides of the ball as a team has been great. And then the 8 weeks of winter, again, they went by real fast, but they're real fun. I think we learned how to come together as a team. We had some adversities in the things we were doing here, the workouts, different stuff like that, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, and so you're starting to see it pay off.
You lost three starters up front, so you hear it a lot, like the D line's a question mark. Is that a motivator? What do you think? What goes through your mind when you hear that?
In our room, we don't really focus on the outside noise. People can say what they want about us. They can doubt us. They can praise us, but we're not going to let it affect what we do. We lost three starters. We lost three guys who produced a lot, but at the end of the day, every team loses people, I think. No one, as much as I love them, no one's irreplaceable. Everyone's different in their own ways, and we have a great group coming back this year. People are stepping up to be leaders. You got new guys who are coming along great, just learning how to play together and gel together. It's a different room, but I'm loving where we're at. I'm very confident in us. We have depth, we have talent, and we have energy. It's fun. So, yeah, it's weird the first few days out there when we don't have those guys, Ty, Nash, Jamari, that, for me, they're all I know. They've been here for 2 years with me. So it was a little weird at first, but then once you get through winter without them, you see people stepping up, taking into a new role, and then you get to spring, and it's like, you just got to go out there and play with the guys that are here. You don't think about last year, you think about what's now and what's moving forward and kind of focus on you. And back to the question, the voice outside, people, like I said, people can doubt us, but we know what we got inside our defensive line room, and we're going to worry about what we do and keep it at that.
Hey, how hard was it to stay in that 4-game redshirt last year? Because obviously you could have helped the defense all year, and you had to kind of sit back and play those 4 games strategically over the course of the season.
Yeah, it was tough at first. I'm not going to lie. You go through all winter and all spring and summer, putting in a lot of work, and mentally I was very confident where I was at, thinking I was going to play a lot, and then you get redshirted a couple weeks in, and it was hard. Someone said it to me the other day, but it was like, football is what I do, it's not who I am, and I had to realize that real quick. And so my mindset went from what can I do on Saturdays to how can I help the team, and whatever role that was, whether it was morning lifts, being on the scout team, giving looks, helping the offense, or not even that, just helping the guys that we're going to play that week, learn the defense, know what's going on, watch tape against whoever we were playing, and just be ready. And then, keep the guys, on home games at least when I was on the sideline, keep the guys in the game. Bad play happens, what's next? We got to go out there. So it was rough, but at the end of the day, I think personally it allowed me to take a lot of pressure off myself and really develop as a player. I got to go out there. I kind of looked at it as, I got 3 days a week to go out there and just play football. I was on the scout team. I could pin my ears back and just go. I could work on my craft and give a good look. And so that's what I tried to do. And I think it took a lot of pressure off my shoulders and allowed me to take big strides as a player. And then, you just trust the process. I trust Coach Rule. I trust that God put me in that situation to, maybe sit the bench for a year or two. I still got my 4 games, but just keep my head down, work, and then when the time comes, be ready to go.
Were there things that you were able to do in those periods where you weren't playing, like in the weeks where you knew you weren't going to play, like with your training or nutrition, whatever it might be, away from the field that also helped your development?
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it now, I probably put on 8 to 10 pounds from the second game I played Colorado till I played Rutgers in the middle of the season, but Iowa at the end of the year, I probably put on about 8 pounds, I would say, and that's through, like I said, the morning lifts. I was lifting 4 times a week. I was eating right. I was looking at what I was eating. I didn't have to so as much prepare to play a game on Saturday and what I was eating, so I'd let loose on the weekends a little bit. But at the end of the day, I was very comfortable in my body and just the development I was at. But then again, I'm out there on the field running around 3 days a week, getting in to go get extra work. I'm watching film. I'm watching my scout film. I'm watching the defensive film, the game plan. A lot of tape, a lot of conversation with coaches. But yeah, so it was fun.
For someone unfamiliar with Coach Braden, how would you describe his approach, overall, field, off field, everything?
Something he tells us all the time: energy is contagious. There hasn't been a day where he's come in there down. You know, he comes in there, he lights up the room, he puts a smile on your face, and then he gets you ready to go. Whether that's we're in the film room and it's a meeting, or we're out on the field. You know, the switch is on, and we're going to work. We're going to get better at what we do. He's very, very detailed. He wants us to go out there when we're on the game field. He's not going to scream, yell, do all that. Like, he wants you to go play with effort. He wants you to give it all you got and be violent effort. He can fix the technique, he can fix the schemes, he can do all that in the film room. But when you're out on the field, he wants you to just pin your ears back and go play. And it's real fun. It's a lot of fun to play for him because, you know, you don't have to sit there and think, what if I do this wrong? What if I do that wrong? Yes, you want to be right on what you do, but at the same time, you go out there, you give what you got. You go meet with them, or in the meetings, he's sitting there coaching you up. And then, like I said, he's very, very detailed. He comes with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge for where he's been the past 8 years in his whole career. So, I mean, every day I learn something new from the guy, whether that's life or football. So,
having a father who had a significant career in Major League Baseball, has that afforded you any advantages, any kind of advice he's given you that's helped out over the years?
Yes and no. Of course, yes. I didn't mean to say no, but yeah, he's helped me a lot. Like I said, whether it was my freshman year getting thrown into the fire from the start, or whether that was getting redshirted last year, you know, trusting the process and what's going to happen. And not even just my dad, but my mom. You know, she was there through his whole career. She saw what he went through and the things he struggled with. You know, the mental battle of wanting to be perfect all the time, and the stress that puts on yourself. That's something I do a lot. And so just conversations with both of them, teaching me to, you know, trust in the player I am, and the years and years of work I've put in, and what I'm doing now. You know, that when I get out on that field, I can just go play, be confident in who I am. But yeah, you know, I call him as much as I can, talk to him a lot, and it's nice because he always has confidence in me. Him and my mom both have. They always have. And so just, you know, whenever I'm, you know, maybe I have a bad day or something, I go talk to him, and he's like, you know, it's going to happen. You're at at the highest level. You have a bad day, but it's how you go attack the next one. So.
Keona Davis is another guy that Coach Rule's talked about waiting in the wings a long time. As a guy that played as a freshman like you did, I mean, how has your relationship of you two grown over the last year, and now in a spot where you guys are going to be, you know, up front together on that line?
Yeah, no, me and Keona, we get along great. You know, I love that guy. He, it's funny you say that. He's kind of in the spot I was in my freshman year. Played a little bit, got thrown in the fire, and then his sophomore year is going to be big for him. He's coming along great. He's real fun to play with because he's out there and he can do a lot. We can kind of both play all across the line, but you know, whether it's me and him sitting in the film room together, and you know, he's asking me questions, picking my brain, I'm picking his brain, seeing what he sees. He's asking me where he can get better, and then I'm asking him where I can get better. It's just a back and forth relationship, and that's how it is with a lot of the guys in the room, or everyone in the room. You know, that's how it is. But as far as Keona, man, he's coming along great. He's fun to be around. He has energy. You know, I mean, I can sit here and list off a bunch of great things about him because he goes out there and he plays hard, and that's what you want in a guy. That's what you want in someone next to you, because I can go out there and trust him, and I hope he can trust me too.
Getting back to the topic of your father, how did you fall in love with football instead of baseball?
You know, for the longest time, I did think I was going to be a professional baseball player. I wanted to be a pitcher, first baseman, and hit every once in a while. And then I played baseball growing up. It was real fun, and kind of once I got into high school, COVID hit. You know, I put a lot of weight on, and football was real fun to me. From Texas, you know, everyone says that's Texas high school football. It's what they breed down there. So, where I came from, it was real fun. You know, we had a great baseball team too, but like I said, I got a lot bigger physically, and there was times I'd be at baseball practice catching myself thinking like, you know, dang, I wish I was with the guys in the indoor training right now, you know, doing bags, you know, working on my craft because I wanted to be good at football. I wanted to go out there and play, and there's just something about it, you know, going out there. You can shut out everything else in your life and just kind of go be violent, go have a lot of fun and go let everything out. That's how I fell in love. And you know, like I said, even a dad that played professional baseball, he supported me the whole way. He was never going to force me to play baseball. He wanted me to play multiple sports growing up because he believed it would better me. He doesn't believe in, you know, a one-sport guy. But then he always said there was a time where you're going to have to choose one and stick with it if that's what you want to do. And I chose football. And he always said he knew I was going to be a football player. He could tell that my heart was in it more. I always denied it until I finally ended up quitting baseball. But, yeah, he always supported me.
Were you pretty good in baseball?
I didn't throw as hard as my dad did, not even close. But every once in a while I had a good outing, and then I always think I was a really good first baseman. You know, I could get the splits out there a few times. I was pretty flexible. I could pick a lot of balls, and then at the plate, I was a home run strikeout kind of guy. I was hitting that thing to the fence, or it was a pop fly to the pitcher, or a ground out. It was one or the other. I was swinging out of my shoes. So, yeah.
I was just gonna ask you too, Riley, just what's the spring transition been like for you? You go from a red shirt to where you are now, all the starters are gone. Like, how have you maybe taken steps to be a leader, or what's that transition been?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think it dates back to winter workouts when we first got back. Realizing that I'm in a position where I'm going to have to step forward, and I want to be a leader. I want to be one of those guys that the team can count on as a person and as a player. That when the lights are the brightest, I can go out there and I can make a play. I can put the guys on my back, but I don't say that selfishly. I mean, I want the whole team around me. I want to help them too, and doing what I can do, whether that's helping a young guy, learn, adjust to the college life, whether he's a transfer or an early enrollee or something like that. Just kind of seeing the role, like the spot I'm in, to step into a leadership role. It was tricky at first, but I think the more and more I do it, the more comfortable I get. And I have support from the guys, so that means a lot. They do trust me. They look at me in that light, and so just learning each and every day to go out there and trust in myself. Don't doubt myself. I think that would be the biggest thing. Is I put all the work in. I can go out here. I can be a leader as a person, as a player, and just going out there giving it my all for those guys around me. Everything. Thank you all. Have a good day.